Hey, this is Rob with Bor Kaelf. I was putting around the house today, working out a theory. I've had lots of theories over my lifetime, but I'm actually starting to put together a pretty big one. So I don't know how far down the rabbit hole I want to go, but I've been doing a lot of thinking. I got a letter from the state of Ohio saying that since I have a Class B CDL, that when I get my license renewed this year, I am not allowed just to bring in my license and get a new one because it doesn't prove citizenship anymore. And I thought, well, and then I thought, oh yeah, the Democrats, sanctuary cities, they're handing driver's licenses out to everybody because, bleeding heart liberals and the leftists, just whatever they can do. So I can no longer just show my license. So I have to get a passport or a birth certificate that's been issued by a state to prove I was citizenship, that I'm a citizen. So when I thought, well, okay, and I was just sitting there thinking about it. And then I've been watching, and I watch like One News Now, and I've been watching Fox News, and I listened to a little bit of Crowder today. And about midway through the day, I started thinking about a theory, and I thought, I suddenly dots started lighting up in my head. And I thought, now wait a minute, because I've been watching this Omar, and about how they don't have enough gall to, put her name on, you can't be anti-Semitic or whatever the word is. So, and I was sitting there thinking about that. And then I kept seeing Minnesota pop up, Minnesota. And I kept thinking, there's something about immigration, UN, Minnesota that just kept going through my head. So I did a search on the internet. I thought, well, I'm going to look this up. And because also, to get back to the citizenship real quick, a little side note to keep in the back of your mind is all these groups running across the border. And I'll get into all those numbers in a minute. So here I am thinking about it, and I was like, I was trying to think Omar's. I was like, where is she from? And then after that, it says that she's from Minnesota's 5th district. So Minnesota. So I got to thinking about it, and I thought, well, why did all the Somalians go to Minnesota? So then I started looking up why. And of course, when I looked it up, the first thing it said is there's rumors on the internet that says Obama moved 70,000 Somalians into. And he didn't. That's just something that somebody goofed up on. I mean, a lot of people have been moved around the country, but that one specifically, I don't think. I think it's one of those, I gotcha, your facts are wrong. But here's the truth. In Somalia in 91, civil war broke out. So civil war broke out in Somalia in 91. Well, they all ran over to Kenya and they're all hanging out, as refugees. Well, the UN, we want to be a good person, citizen of the UN, I guess, when Democrats are in control. So then after that, they were like, oh, we can take the refugees. So they started moving the refugees in 93, 2 years later. Well, Bill Clinton was president at that point. So they moved 30,000 refugees into Minnesota. I'm not sure if it's 30,000, but when it was all said and done, there's over 30,000 of them there. So, and I got to thinking about it. So they moved them all in there. Of course, they brought the Muslim religion and they brought, all of their anti-Semitic hatred for Jews and everything else along with them. So now they're over here and they went ahead and they finally took over enough of that part of the state that they now have a representative in our government. And they've gone back to 2012 with tweets on her, and she is just saying one just awful, anti-Semitic thing after another. And it just, we'll get into that some other time. But I mean, she's been in the office less than, 3.5 months, 3 months. So, I mean, we're just in March. So then I got to thinking about that, and I thought, no, wait a minute. I was like, now, to come back to the southern border, I thought, why all of a sudden is there a 97% increase in them pushing all these illegal aliens across our border? All of a sudden, all these huge caravans are showing up, and they're coming in, and the Democrats are doing everything in their power to stop it. And I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, well, why would they do that? Why would they go against U.S. citizens and go after all these illegals and protect them, but then just absolutely throw a U.S. citizen under the, immigrant bus that, and you're not allowed to say anything because then they lobby as, racist and a bigot and everything else. So I got to thinking about that and I thought, well, wait a minute. Omar, 30,000 in um, Minnesota or Dakota or Minnesota. I can't even remember. Let me go back and look at it real quick so I don't mess this up. I'm thinking fast. Yeah, in Minnesota, 5th District. So I'm thinking, well, okay, the UN, all that stuff, they got moved in. Clinton's moved them up there. And then I got to thinking about that. And I was like, well, just this year alone, they've had enough people apprehended at the border that it's larger than the population of Baton Rouge. So, and I got to thinking, so I pulled up a list. These are 95, they're 2005 census. I mean, this list here is a little outdated, but I was just looking for something for comparison really quick. Let me get to the top of this list and look at it. Yeah, July 2005 estimated populations. Of course, they're bigger now. And I thought about that's roughly, let me go to the media releases for the U.S. Border Patrol, and they came up with 268,044 individuals that have come across the border this year. So, and I got to thinking, I was like 268,000. I was like, wow. And I got to thinking, I was like, well, I'm going to go through cities and just look. And of course, these are 2005. I didn't spend a lot of time looking up a more updated list. So that is just shy of the population of Buffalo, New York of 2005. And then that is just and Greensboro, North Carolina has less residents than the people that were apprehended at the border. And then I was going through, let's see if I pull up another one here or two, going through these numbers. That's more than, was it Plano? Oh, I don't even know. Is it Michigan, I think, or Pasadena? So, yeah, El Paso. So Plano, Texas. So it's more than that. And then after that, it's more than, let's see, something you would know. Oh my gosh. Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's twice Green Bay's population. Madison, it's more than Madison, Wisconsin, and it's over half of Milwaukee. I mean, this is the amount of people. And then I got to thinking about it and I was like, wow. I was like, that's just been. And then if you add in December of 2018, that bumps it to 396,000. So 396,000. So I thought, well, I'll go to this list again and dig up a couple more numbers. And that's more than Arlington, Texas's population since the 1st of December. Let's see what else is there real quick. And I'm just trying to give you an idea of how many people we're talking. And they say it's not a crisis. That's more than the population of Cincinnati, Ohio. That is more than the population of Dayton, Ohio. More than the population of Toledo, Ohio. It is nearly twice the population of Akron, Ohio. It is more than Raleigh, North Carolina. It's more than this year is more than Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, give it another, it's half the population of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little over half, almost 2/3. So you start thinking about these cities and how much this population actually is. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, why are they not doing it? They're dragging their feet for the next election. They're trying to put themselves into power forever because they were almost thinking, and I know they all did, they were all but guaranteed, plus some of them were pretty much guaranteed, that Hillary was going to be president. So Hillary got in to be president, and then they would do some amnesty, and then all these people, the 11, 13, whatever million people that are here now, and we know there's almost 400,000 just since December of this year. You think about that voting population, then you come back up to Omar. What happened with, my gosh, I'm pulling an absolute blank. Sorry, I got hiccups. I'm talking really fast. So I'm very nervous about doing this. So let me know how you think I'm doing. But I'm trying to gather my thoughts and not ramble for like 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, just think about Minnesota's 5th District. That was since 93 when the government placed them and just started to move them in from Kenya, all the refugees that left Somalia because due to the civil war there. So think about that timeline. Now think about everything that the Democrats are trying to do now and not putting up a border wall. And now all of a sudden, because I think they know they're going to lose this fight with Trump on the border wall. I think they know they're going to lose it. And I think that's why all their donors like Soros and all them are all pushing really hard to get as many people across this border and into the court systems and overloading it as fast as possible, because they want to fundamentally change the landscape, the political landscape of the United States. And all these people that are coming in do not have our history. They don't have why the United States was created. All they have is the Democrats and all of them saying, hey, get here, we'll get you, we'll hide you, we'll put you in sanctuary cities, we'll set you up. And none of them know the history of this country. They just know they're getting here, they're going to get a better life. And now you got Bernie Sanders and everybody else with all these college kids screaming free everything. And at the rate we're going, I mean, we're going to reach the point of Venezuela faster than Venezuela got to Venezuela. And I tell everybody that I can that democratic socialism, socialism or communism, they're all three, they all end up in the same place. The only way you can get rid of it is by a gun. Doesn't matter if you democratically voted them in, they slowly took over, or they came in with a gun and took over. The only way to get rid of socialism is through armed conflict. So, but hey, I'm Rob with Bor Kaelf. I'm going to stop it right there. Some thoughts to ponder. Let me know what you thought about this, about my theory. It's 100% mine because I came up with it a while ago. If you get a town of 3,000 and you move in government housing with welfare and you drop in a 1,600 unit apartment and they all need to have their welfare, so they all start voting for welfare. I mean, I didn't used to be a conspiracy theorist, but now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing people get up every day with a sole purpose to destroy this country that I love, that I know the majority of you listening love. So, hey, Rob with Bor Kaelf, you enjoy. Have a good night.